Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. So the last update about the latest upcoming episode of Unfortunate Love was how Rishi confessed his love to Lakshmi during his marriage with Malishka, and everyone was shocked, and Rishi asked Lakshmi to marry him, but Lakshmi rejected Rishi's love and asked Rishi to marry Malishka instead. So let's continue from there. Neelam is angry and she says, I was insulted so much because of Lakshmi and I will take revenge from her for all my insult once this marriage happens, and I will not leave Lakshmi. Virendra and Grandma are going to Lakshmi. Neelam asks if they are going to talk to Lakshmi. Virendra says yes, Lakshmi is Rishi's happiness and we need to talk to her. Neelam says to Virendra and Grandma that I will not let you both go to talk to Lakshmi, and says that Rishi doesn't love Lakshmi, but Rishi loves Malishka, and says that Rishi just cares and sympathizes with Lakshmi. Neelam says Lakshmi has told us this also. Virendra says Lakshmi said this due to you. Neelam says whatever, but I cannot let you go to talk to Lakshmi. Neelam tells Virendra that I cannot enjoy my son's marriage due to you all. She asks them not to argue with her and go back, and Virendra looks at Grandma. Rishi comes to his room and recalls Lakshmi saying that she doesn't want to marry Rishi, and even Rishi did not love her, but he just cared for her, and Rishi gets angry. Rishi opens the drawer and finds the ring that he gave to Lakshmi during their marriage, and he thinks that Lakshmi must have kept the ring here. Shalu says my sister did not let us stay with her, and she has kept a condition that we should keep quiet when only she will stay here. Lakshmi recalls Rishi's love confession and a moment with Rishi. She recalls Rishi telling her that he will marry Malishka in front of her eyes, and she recalls Neelam's words that Rishi would never marry Lakshmi, and if Lakshmi had understood relationship, then she wouldn't have come back here, and Lakshmi cried. Neelam and Sonia comes downstairs with Rishi. Sonia tells Neelam that something should be memorable because today is Rishi's marriage. She calls the DJ. Neelam, Karishma and Sonia dance happily, and Karishma asks Rishi to dance so that everyone will come to know that he is very happy with his marriage with Malishka. Neelam tells Virendra and Grandma to celebrate and dance. Grandma and Virendra couldn't dance forcefully and they just moved their hands. Rishi goes to the wedding altar and sits. Neelam asks the priest to start the work. Malishka comes there and Sonia asks Sonal to dance with Malishka and they begins to dance. While everyone are dancing, Rishi remembers how he happily danced during his marriage with Lakshmi, and he gets up from the wedding altar and goes to Lakshmi, and he makes Lakshmi wear the ring and then puts the floral decoration garland on Lakshmi's neck and ties it just like a wedding garland, and a song plays in the background, and Malishka sees everything and she is shocked. Lakshmi gets teary eyes and she asks Rishi that why are you doing this? She shouted, asking that how much pain will you give me again and again? Rishi says, I love you, Lakshmi, and I use Shalu and Bani's smile seeing everything. Rishi says to Lakshmi that I want to marry you. Lakshmi says I don't want to marry you, and says you are making me bad in everyone's eyes, and says I told you that I don't want to marry you. Lakshmi tells Rishi that their relationship is over and she doesn't love him. She asks, why are you doing this? And says, leave me, please. Rishi says, Lakshmi. Lakshmi shouted at him, asking him to be quiet and listen to her, and says, I will never forgive you for whatever you have done just now. Rishi says to Lakshmi that don't say this, I really love you and I want to marry you, and says I will die without you. He says I cannot live without you because I really love you. My heartbeat and my life is just you, and I will die without you. Grandma says Rishi said this clearly and he opened his heart, and Grandma gets happy. Virendra says to Rishi that if he had said this earlier and confessed his love to Lakshmi early enough, then all this wouldn't have happened. Rishi says, I realized that I love Lakshmi much later, but I really love Lakshmi and I will keep her happy. Lakshmi says, how do I make you understand that you are making me bad in front of everyone? And Lakshmi cried. Malishka comes to Lakshmi to slap her and says, you drama queen, but Rishi hold Malishka's hand and stop her and says, don't even think of doing this. Malishka says, what happened to you, Rishi? You are humiliating me in front of everyone for Lakshmi. She asks if Rishi is not saying that Lakshmi is ruining everything, and Lakshmi is making Rishi dance on her tune, and Rishi shouted Malishka. Malishka says to Rishi that you have stopped my hand from slapping Lakshmi, but you cannot stop my tongue. She tells Lakshmi that Rishi stopped her, else she would have shown Lakshmi's value to her. She says to Lakshmi that you are shameless, characterless and mannerless. Rishi shouted Malishka, and Malishka also shouted at Rishi to stop and not to say any word. Malishka asks Lakshmi if she has sold her self-esteem somewhere and says, I will give it back to you. She says Rishi has done so much for you and all these family members have done so much. They gave you food, clothing and shelter. She asks that what have you done in return, and she cried. Malishka asks Lakshmi if her parents have taught her this. She asks if they have given her these values. Lakshmi shouted, asking Malishka to be quiet, and Malishka also shouted at Lakshmi to let her speak. Lakshmi says to Malishka that she should be quiet and says that she can answer her back all the nonsense that she has been saying, but her values stopped her from replying her. Lakshmi says to Malishka that I can bear that you were raising your hand to me, but if you raise any question on my parent upbringing and values, then I will give you such answer that you will never see in your own eyes. She says if I was whatever you were saying, and if my values would have been bad, then I wouldn't have divorced Rishi, and I wouldn't have let Rishi marry you, and I would have married Rishi in front of you. Lakshmi says to Malishka that if I had bad values, then I would have slapped you so hard for showing your value to show my values to me. And she asks her not to raise finger on her parents and their values and their upbringing ever again. Karishma says Malishka doesn't need to raise fingers again and says to Lakshmi that don't threaten Malishka, and she asks Lakshmi to leave their house now immediately. Karishma says to Lakshmi that we did a mistake by letting a girl like you stay in the house and we have eat axe on our feet. Grandma shouted Karishma and says Lakshmi came here for my wish and she did not come here by herself. And Karishma says this is Lakshmi's cleverness and says Lakshmi makes others do work for her. Lakshmi asks Grandma not to defend her today and says if you support me today, then everyone will scold you also, and I cannot bear that. Lakshmi says you have always supported me and I don't want anything wrong to happen to you. Karishma says to Lakshmi that you have already done that. Today, Mom and my brother are against us and Ayush always talk about you. Karishma says you are inauspicious for us and for this house, so get out. Sonia asked Karishma to hold Lakshmi's hand and throw her out of the house, and Sonia held Lakshmi's hand and said she would throw her out. Lakshmi shouted, asking Sonia to leave her hand. She says, you also understand this well, that I don't want to stay here, else I wouldn't have been here and I would have left from here. Ayush asks Lakshmi that why do you want to go away from here? He says he is the younger son of the house and he is allowed to do mistake unlike Rishi. Then also Rishi is proposing to you in front of everyone and he asks Lakshmi to accept Rishi. Ayush asks Lakshmi to stay for him at least and says you are my sister-in-law since you came here and you are my sister-in-law now and I'm your brother-in-law forever, and says please stay here and accept Rishi for me. Lakshmi gets emotional and says to Ayush that she was lucky to get him as her brother-in-law and she asks him to accept Malishka as a sister-in-law now and support her. Lakshmi asks Ayush not to call her sister-in-law again, but Rishi interrupts and says Ayush will call you sister-in-law and you will be Ayush's sister-in-law forever, and everyone is shocked. Rishi says to Lakshmi that he is feeling helpless because Lakshmi rejects him, but he loves Lakshmi so much and he cannot live without her, and Rishi folds his hand and says I really love you, Lakshmi. He says I know that you can feel how much I love you and I can feel it too that you love me, so please accept it. Rishi says I want to marry you, Lakshmi, and Lakshmi looks on. Okay guys, so I love something about Rishi. Once he put his mind to do something, he is very stubborn and he will definitely do it. So this is another turn in the story. I mean, the story is actually making sense now, and trust me, their TRP is actually going high because they are getting more views and they are making more money. Haha. So definitely this show is not ending anytime soon. But at least what we have been expecting to happen is already happening. Rishi accepting that he loves Lakshmi. But now we are waiting for Lakshmi to also accept that she loves Rishi. Thank you guys for watching. I will see you guys in the next video. Bye guys.